أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وبه نستعين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ونبينا بالقاسم محمد وعلى عترة الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وأجل فرجهم أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. We're quickly approaching the Wiladat of Imam Ali Rida alayhi salam, our 8th Imam, and in order to honor him, we thought we would look at the fiqh rulings of traveling, which we started yesterday. We did an introduction into the rules of traveling and we looked at the conditions that were required for us to become travelers. And today we will be looking at specifically the intention aspect of it in a little bit more detail. So we're looking at the commencement of the intention and how to keep the intention throughout and what we need to actually be aware of when we're looking at the intention, inshallah. So I need to have the intention of traveling the 8 farsakh, which is, as we said, was 44 kilometers or 27.5 miles from the beginning of the journey. So when I leave my home, I need to have an intention that I'm going to be traveling 8 farsakh or more, or 27.5 miles or more, a round trip. So I'm actually thinking, okay, if we round it up to 28 miles, and I'm thinking when I leave home that my trip's going to be maybe 14 miles one way and 14 miles back, so I'm sorted. So I need to have that intention from the very beginning. If I don't have the intention of traveling 8 farsakh, so say if I'm going somewhere and it's not going to be 14 miles, it's maybe going to be maybe 12 miles. And I know that, return as well, it's only going to be another 12 miles, so it's not going to cover the 27.5 miles. So I start traveling. Now, on the way, I get lost and I travel a little bit further. And if I actually calculate the whole amount that I've traveled, it may be more than 28 miles. But because I didn't have the intention to travel the 28 miles, I will not be praying Qasr. If I have traveled quite far, even though I didn't have the intention to travel that far, and now on the return, it's going to be 8 farsakh, then I would be praying Qasr because now the intention is to come home and I know that that's going to be the 8 farsakh that I require. Once the intention has been made, even if the whole distance is not covered, it doesn't matter. Even if I've covered only part of it, the minute I leave Hadd al-Tarakus, then I have the rights of a traveler, and therefore I would then pray Qasr. So I don't have to wait till I actually reach my hometown. I can actually pray Qasr from the minute I reach Hadd al-Tarakus, which again, as I said, was the permitted city limits, the permitted limits. And we'll look at more in detail what Hadd al-Tarakus is tomorrow when we look at the journey, and we'll look at that in more detail. If I change my intention, then obviously I do not pray Qasr. But if the intention is changed of the destination, but not the distance. So if I still have the intention to travel the 8 farsakh, but now I'm deciding to go somewhere else. So say maybe I was deciding to go to Birmingham before, and now I'm deciding to go to Leicester. I'm still going to be traveling more than 28 miles round trip. So therefore I'm still considered as a Qasr. So it's not the destination, the place I'm going to, it's more to do with the distance. Yeah. If I don't know how far I'm going to be, so for example, I'm going to a meeting somewhere, and I'm not sure exactly how far it's going to be, so I wait till I hit Hadd al-Tarakus, and again we'll look at what Hadd al-Tarakus is in practical terms for us tomorrow. But if I wait till I hit Hadd al-Tarakus and then I start calculating, and it does happen to be 14 miles one way and 14 miles back, then I will pray Qasr because my intention was to travel. I just didn't know how far the distance was, so it was just making sure that I was going to travel that far. If the intention is to stay less than 10 days, then I will be considered as a traveler. But if I stay in any place more than 10 days, then I do not have the rights of the traveler, so I would have to pray full in those places that I'm staying for more than 10 days. Now, this is not necessarily 24 hour 10 days. It's 10 full days. So if I reach on, I calculate it from sunrise of the first day to sunset of the 10th day. But if I reach in the middle of the day, so for example, I reach at noon, then I would count it from the noon of the first day to the noon of the 11th day, because it has to be 10 full days, although not necessarily 24 hours. If I make the intention that I'm going to stay in this place for 10 days, and then I change my intention and I'm no longer going to stay in that place for 10 days, as long as my intention was changed before I recited a 4 rakat salah, a full 4 rakat salah, because obviously if I'm staying there 10 days, then I'm expected to pray full. So as long as I did not pray a full 4 rakat salah, then I'm expected to pray qasr, because now I'm no longer there for 10 days. But the minute I have recited a 4 rakat wajib salah, then I have to pray full for the remaining time that I'm there, even though it is less than 10 days. So it literally amounts to whether I did the 4 rakat salah or not. And the same applies for fasting. If I've made the intention to stay in a place for 10 days, then I can fast in that place. If my intention changes, as long as I have done a 4 rakat salah in that place, then I can fast in that place as long as I am in that place. The minute I leave that place, then I cannot until I come back and stay for another 10 days. If my intention is not to stay there for 10 days, and then I stay there for 9 days, I'm thinking of staying there for 9 days, and then it happens that I stay there for longer, but throughout I'm not staying for, my intention is not to stay for 10 days, so I'm waiting to leave, and then it amounts up to another few days. The minute it gets to 30 days, then from the 31st day, whether my intention is to stay for 1 day, 2 days, it doesn't matter, I would pray full and I can fast. So I have 30-day leeway where I'm not sure that I can pray qasr and I don't fast, as long as the intention is not to stay for 10 days. Yeah. So the minute the intention becomes for 10 days, then I have to pray full and I have to fast. If I have prayed a 4 rakat salah while the intention was for 10 days, then I have to pray full and fast during the time that I am in that city. If I'm not sure, I can keep it going till 30 days, and then on the 31st day, I would have to pray full and fast. I hope this has made it a little bit easier, inshallah. We will tomorrow be looking at the journey and looking at the fiqh revolving around the actual journey itself. So join me tomorrow, inshallah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.